Stop 1. Polk Home. James K. Polk was born on November 2, 1795 in Pineville, North Carolina, to Samuel and Jane Polk. In the fall of 1806, his family came to Columbia from North Carolina when Polk was 11 years old. The house was built in 1816 by Polk's father Samuel while Polk was away at college at the University of North Carolina. Polk wouldn't see the house until 2 years later upon his graduation and return home. He graduated in 1818 with honors in math and the classics and delivered the class salutatory in Latin. During the early years of his political and legal career, he lived here sometimes between reading law in Nashville and attending state legislature in Murfreesboro until his marriage in 1824. During these years, the house was crowded with his mother and father, 2 younger sisters, and 5 older brothers. His 2 older sisters had already married and lived nearby. Polk never spent much time at home. When he was 23, after a good visit with his family, he went to Nashville to read law with Felix Grundy. While pursuing his studies in Grundy's office, Polk was chosen to be the clerk of the state senate. After he was admitted to the bar in 1820, he began practice in Columbia in a small log building on the corner of West 7th and Garden Street, where the Bethel Hotel will later be located. He served another term as Secretary of the State Senate. This took him away to Murfreesboro for a short period, and in 1823 he was elected to the legislature. While he was in Murfreesboro, he began courting Sarah Childress. They had a large country wedding and was married January 1, 1824 at her family home. Even though she was never to bear children, Miss Polk found fulfillment for her astute mind and social skills in the realm of politics. In 1825, Polk entered into national politics and also started nearly a quarter of a century of an active political life. He ran for and was elected to the United States House of Representatives. This was the first of 7 terms he was to serve in Congress. In 1835, he was chosen to be the Speaker of the House, the only president to hold this office. In 1839, he ran for governor of Tennessee and served for 1 term. In 1844, Polk became the first dark horse candidate for the presidency and first presidential candidate to be nominated because of a deadlock. Polk would defeat Henry Clay by the smallest margin of popular votes ever to elect a man to the White House up to that time. Polk established 4 basic goals for his administration: a reduction of the tariff, an independent treasury, the settlement of the Oregon boundary, and the acquisition of California. Polk would achieve all 4 goals, and he is still the only president to keep all his campaign promises. When Polk's term was finished, he and his wife returned to Tennessee. They returned to Nashville and lived in the house that had once been home to Felix Grundy. They planned to live out their retirement here, but on June 15, 1849, Polk died in Nashville at the age of 53 after 3 months of retirement. 6 days before his death, he had been baptized by a Methodist preacher he had admired. He was buried in Nashville City Cemetery until a tomb could be built. At Mrs. Polk's request, he was reburied in May of 1850 at Polk Place, where the tomb stood for 43 years. Following the death of Mrs. Polk and the sale of Polk Place, the president and his wife's bodies were removed to the state capitol grounds. 55 scholars of American history ranked him along with Theodore Roosevelt, Grover Cleveland, and John Adams as a near great president, preceded by only 6 others designated as great presidents. In other rankings, Polk is always considered to be among the top 12 presidents. Some major achievements of the Polk administration include the annexation of Texas, annexation of Oregon, and risk of war with Britain, Mexico forced to cede California and New Mexico to the United States as a result of an unpopular war, signing a treaty with Great Britain for reciprocal rights on the high seas, mail rates, and other matters, the founding of the United States Naval Academy, and the founding of the Smithsonian Institution.